Good afternoon. What is a mild, bright and sunny day. It is Wednesday the 17th of May. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And a parcel to finish unboxing. And that I'm going to pull out is Autoduel Tales, the fiction of Car Wars from Steve Jackson Games. From the pages of Autoduel Quarterly, The Future is Back. From 1983 through 1993, Autoduel Quarterly published fiction set in the Car Wars universe, bringing the world of the futuristic vehicular combat to life. Now all their stories are back in print. Discover a professional whose friends have all been killed by an assassin who dies last, an amnesiac duelist harbouring a devastating secret in his past and future, a pizza delivery guy who takes his mission very seriously, and more. The world is in your hands. Drive offensively and keep your bookmark handy. So this is a print-on-demand book collecting all of the fiction from Autoduel Quarterly. Now, as I say, back between 83 and 93, you had this essentially little A5 sort of fanzine stroke magazine dedicated to Steve Jackson Games' board game Car Wars, which was the game of vehicular combat set in a future where not just going around being armed was legal. Actually arming your car or your trike or your bicycle with weapons was also allowed. So armed with machine guns, lasers, you could drop mines, oil slicks, spikes, layer your car with armor, etc. And you could go out and buy you could go out and basically kit bash a car and drive that, or you could just buy one choose one off the shelf, available in your local showroom. And originally the Car Wars appeared in just a Ziploc bag, and you play it on a map sheet with little counters. But it's gone through numerous iterations. It's become a box set. It's been a game where you have you get miniatures. And layouts and arenas, and I think it's sort of like it's what must be on like the 6th edition, something like that. It's got its own role-playing game in with really two important supplements. One was Autoduel Champions. Autoduel Champions was a crossover between the Autoduel world of 2034 Champions, their role-playing game from Hero Games, and that led into the publication of GURPS, generically a universal role-playing system from Steve Jackson Games. And then we had, from that, you eventually got the basically the GURPS Autoduel, which is essentially the setting supplement, and another couple of supplements as well, but the setting supplement for the Autoduel world for use with GURPS. So, what have we got here? This is okay. We have we've got from the driver's seat, which is a editorial piece. So this essentially it collects fiction from the magazine, because it essentially what the magazine would do, it would present a mixture of different things. So you would have not just the fiction, but new vehicles, new rules, scenarios, like a letters page and so on, and then rumours and stuff like that. Just like you would have a kind of a normal little magazine. And it's only like sort of like 24 pages, or 30 pages, something along those lines. And it never sort of like became more than an A5 digest size little thing. But from that, you would get, alongside all that, you would get all these pieces of fiction, which were always enjoyable. Essentially, I liked Car Wars as a game. I didn't play it very much because it wasn't something that particularly my friends wanted to play. But I liked the fiction, and it's pretty much I have the same feeling when it comes to BattleTech. I like BattleTech. I quite like playing it. I like the fiction more, which is why I was looking forward to reading Shrapnel. And it was why I picked this up, to have all that fiction in one place. And it's all just a collection of just little short stories. They're not very long. So So yeah, the year is 1981. There's a new game revolving around a simple hook. The year 2031, cars shoot at each other. The game is called Car Wars. With the game came the broad strokes of the world: a global collapse, grain blights, riots, bounties on the open road, arena duels as televised sport, convoys and courier missions between cities, a motto of drive offensively. And essentially, the idea really is that the setting has its own magazine called Autoduel Quarterly. It's almost like an in-game magazine, because in the setting you would be buying those things from Uncle Albert's shop. So we open up with Effie by Jim Lowerre, and it's got each one of these situations has got essentially. I like the fact that it's telling you when it was published. That's a lovely touch, and so thumbs up to the compiler and editor, my friend Stephen Marsh, and so I'm going to go through it essentially just like that throughout. It's got these pieces of fiction. You've got, and plus you've got pieces of artwork illustrating each, as they did in the original piece, and yeah, Serendipity by Ramona Richards. I remember that one. I've read it several times. A noted auto-duel champion goes after the killer of his son on the road, but it actually turns out that it was all an accident. See, and yeah, so here we have it's here Uncle Albert's 2035 catalogue. So Uncle Albert, he was the guy sending you all these new weapons and newfangled designs. John Nowak's Knight Sword. So that's what we got. And then we got the AADA Auto Duelists Guide to Weapons, 2034 edition available. More fiction by John Nowak. And then Algehest Death Toll Solution. That's by John M. Ford. I'd forgotten that he'd written any of these, and John M. Ford was a great writer. He wrote two absolutely fantastic Star Trek novels, How Much for Just the Planet and The Final Reflection. Essentially sort of like How Much for Just the Planet is sort of like is Kirk versus the Klingons for control of a new planet, almost like when they're confronted by the Organians. And then we have what is it? The Final Reflection is really the first fantastic take upon the Klingons, and it's what the faster version of the Klingons were. The faster version of Klingons were like. Anyway, so Checkers Pizza, we deliver. That's going to be the pizza story, and that kind of prefigures another dedicated pizza delivery guy. The main character. I'm saying main character of the story Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson, hero protagonist who is in the opening chapter, is a pizza delivery guy. Essentially show your colours, Car Wars Expansion 6, the ADA counters guys. So you could buy an expansion. Here's all these new vehicles coming out. Here are the counters for them. So you could really buy into this game if you wanted to. And here's an interesting story: Blood and Guts, which looks at the role of Eagle Scouts in the future of 2034. And there was a little supplement in there which let you play Eagle Scouts, because every pilot or driver or motorcycle rider had a few skills, and you could design. You could, it wasn't a particularly detailed role-playing game in that sense, but there was a little bit of personalization. And this is a short story about them, Eagle Scouts on the road. When we have an advert for the Car Wars Deluxe version, which would have been the boxed version. So there's an absolutely fantastic, coverage of feeling of the sort of like the role-playing game, the game itself kind of evolving as you go through the stories. Dual Track, which adds essentially basically fuel, oil-powered vehicles. And then we've got an actual proper advert for the deluxe version, where you actually can see the box there. So what else we got? So yeah, I mean, just more shots of vehicle combat. Another Uncle Albert's catalogue. So there's a huge amount. You've got 30 stories in here. And then Autoduel America, exploring the actual setting of America. And the thing is that the Autoduel setting is very much, you know, an American one, not because essentially we don't, you know, you have the culture already there, kind of set up, you know, for that kind of combat. You know, the readiness to turn to weapons, being freely armed, that sort of thing. So you've got also a supplement there for helicopters and other flying vehicles. And then we've got the Ultimate, which is advert for a trance, which is an arena. Because, you know, what would happen essentially is, whilst you've got all this combat going on the streets, occasionally you also have you've got bandits out there, you know, raiders, but you also have arenas where, you know, people were performing and driving and racing and proving how good they were. So, vehicle guide. More stories. There's so much in here. And then you've got Road Atlas and Survival Guide. This would have been for the GURPS version, an arena book. And again, there's just these adverts are fantastic alongside the fiction. Convoy was a solo adventure, so you could go through. You know, and actually you were driving a Rothschild Auto Works 22-wheeler with rockets, machine guns, flechette grenades, and 20 tons of algae, trying to make a delivery. Mean Streets. Yeah, lots and lots in here. You know, you're going to get a real taste for the world and the setting as you work your way through. Piece by Michael Stackpole, another good writer, you know, not just on Battletech, but also he's written for Battletech, Shadowrun, Star Wars, and his own stuff, as well as role-playing. So yeah, this is Autoduel Tales, the Fiction of Car Wars, available print on demand. Go track it down. It really gives you a good taste of what you know, this setting is like. And I'm really looking forward to giving this a read and then a review. Anyway, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments, then please, or feedback, I appreciate you posting those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a parcel containing a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. For roughly say 10 minutes or so, then please do subscribe, hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.